Hey there, welcome back. If you've been following the latest news about potential direct payments to American families, there's an important update coming straight from Washington that could make a real difference for many households. A top economic official recently shared new information about timing, eligibility, and the likelihood of this proposal moving forward, and some of what they revealed is genuinely promising. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, this channel is dedicated to breaking down government programs, financial assistance opportunities, and benefits in a way that is straightforward and easy to understand. Over the years, we've helped countless individuals navigate the often confusing landscape of policy changes because we strongly believe that everyone deserves access to clear, actionable information that can directly affect their finances. Now let's dive into what's happening and why it matters. Since last July, there has been ongoing discussion about potential direct payments to American households. These payments are often being described as dividend payments rather than traditional stimulus checks, which is a subtle but important distinction. The basic idea is to take revenue generated from tariffs and trade agreements and distribute it directly to families across the country. Back in early November, the Treasury Secretary made it clear that these payments would likely be targeted at households earning less than $100,000 annually. That $100,000 income threshold has been consistently referenced throughout discussions and appears to be the main factor in determining eligibility. It's important to clarify something that comes up repeatedly. If you currently receive Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or if you're a senior who doesn't typically file a tax return, you are not automatically excluded from qualifying. Your employment status or tax filing history does not disqualify you. What truly matters is your total income. If your income is below $100,000, you could potentially qualify for this payment. It's a surprisingly simple criterion when you break it down. Yesterday, a White House economic advisor, who is also being considered for a major Federal Reserve position, provided specific new insights in a public interview. The credibility of this advisor adds weight to what was shared. During the summer months, there was uncertainty about whether the federal budget could accommodate such payments. But recent economic performance has shifted the conversation. With nearly 4% economic growth reported over multiple consecutive quarters, a government surplus maintained for several months, and a deficit reduced by $600 billion compared to the previous year, confidence has grown that there is now fiscal space to support this initiative. The advisor went on to say that the expectation is for the president to formally present a proposal to Congress in early 2026. This is a significant development because it moves the discussion out of the realm of speculation. We now have a credible source indicating that an official proposal is expected in the near future. It's worth noting that while tariff revenue is being considered as the funding source for these payments, the advisor emphasized that Congress must ultimately appropriate the funds, which is standard for all government expenditures. The fact that this is being discussed with such specificity is highly encouraging. What makes this particularly hopeful is that Congress has already indicated plans to pass at least 2 additional reconciliation bills between now and early 2027. For those unfamiliar, reconciliation bills are a special legislative tool that allows one party to pass major legislation with a simple majority of 51 votes in the Senate, rather than the 60 votes normally required. This process was successfully used over the summer to pass a multi-trillion-dollar tax cut bill. If these direct payments are included in a reconciliation bill, they could be passed much more easily without the need for bipartisan agreement. From a political standpoint, the party in power would also receive full credit for the payments, creating an additional incentive to act quickly. Regarding the timeline, the White House economic advisor mentioned early 2026, but realistically, this likely means within the first 6 to 7 weeks of the year, possibly by mid to late February. Once March arrives, campaign season for the midterms is fully underway, and if the administration wants to use these payments as a talking point, it makes sense to release the proposal before then. Even if the proposal is introduced early in the year, actual payments wouldn't be distributed immediately. Congressional approval, legislative procedures, and IRS processing systems would all take time. If everything proceeds smoothly, we could reasonably expect payments to begin arriving in spring or early summer of 2026. Eligibility, based on the information currently available, revolves primarily around the $100,000 income threshold. Social Security recipients, including those receiving retirement benefits, SSI or SSDI, could qualify as long as their income is under the threshold. Senior citizens of any age, 65, 75, 85, or older, would likely qualify under the same rules. Veterans receiving VA benefits would also be included if their income qualifies. Parents could potentially receive additional amounts for each dependent child, although this has not yet been officially confirmed. Unemployed individuals whose incomes have dropped below $100,000 could also qualify, as could those receiving disability benefits from SSDI, veterans programs, or other sources. The essential point is that eligibility is based solely on income, not employment status, tax filing history, or type of government benefits received. Several factors make this latest information particularly encouraging. First, the advisor's confidence has increased dramatically from uncertainty in the summer about budgetary feasibility to a strong belief that the payments are possible now. Second, the economic data backs this up. A sustained government surplus, a sharply reduced deficit, and consistent economic growth all create conditions conducive to moving forward with this program. Third, we now have a concrete timeline for the proposal, which is far more specific than anything previously released. Fourth, the reconciliation process exists as a legislative shortcut, making the likelihood of passage much higher than under normal circumstances. Even with this positive outlook, it's essential to prepare. Filing your 2024 taxes as early as possible is critical, as the IRS will likely use the most recent tax return to determine income eligibility. Make sure all IRS records are current, including mailing address and direct deposit information, so that payments can be distributed without delay. For those who don't normally file taxes, watch closely for guidance, because previous stimulus programs required some Social Security and SSI recipients to file in order to claim payments. Be vigilant against scams. The IRS will never contact you directly by phone, text, or email to request personal information for these payments. Explore other benefits while you wait, such as SNAP, Medicaid, or LHEP, to ensure that you have support in the meantime. Parents, seniors, veterans, unemployed workers, and individuals with disabilities should all verify that their information is up to date to maximize eligibility for this potential payment. It's important to acknowledge that while this proposal is moving forward with strong indicators, nothing is guaranteed. The legislation could still face delays, modifications, or may not pass at all. However, compared to previous updates, this is the most concrete and promising information we've received since the program was first mentioned. The White House economic advisor providing this information is directly involved in decision-making. Economic conditions are favorable. Political incentives are aligned, and the legislative pathway exists through reconciliation bills. All these elements suggest that this initiative is moving forward with real momentum. So while you shouldn't count on this payment for immediate expenses, it's wise to stay informed and prepared. Keep your tax records current, watch for official announcements, and ensure your IRS information is accurate. Additional updates are expected within the next 6 to 8 weeks, and once the proposal is officially released, we'll provide a detailed breakdown of eligibility, timing, and distribution. Remember, you're not alone in navigating these financial challenges. By staying informed and taking the right steps now, you can position yourself to benefit fully if and when these payments are approved. Take care of yourself and your loved ones, and stay tuned for clearer, actionable updates very soon.